for a number of reasons, leaky gut, mercury, fatty liver, inflammation, you should never have high fructose corn syrup. And if you get rid of those two things, high fructose corn syrup and trans fats, you literally eliminate 90% of things in the grocery store. Ultra processed food is about 60% of our diet, 67% of kids' diets. For 10%, every 10% of your diet that's ultra processed food, your risk of death goes up by 14%. Now, I'm not good at math, whatever, 66 times 14, that's a lot. It's going to raise your risk by, 75% of death from eating this food. So in the world, globally, it's been connected to 11 million deaths conservatively by the Global Burden of Disease study that's been a long-going study looking at people's food habits and their risks of a disease. The next thing you should avoid are artificial sweeteners. Why? Because for a whole host of reasons, they harm your body. One, they create damage to your microbiome and lead to increase in obesity and diabetes. Two, they seem to trigger your brain in a way that creates what we call a cephalic insulin response. They're 1,000 times sweeter than regular sugar, and they'll trigger your brain to think sugar's on the way. It's like Pavlov's bell. It rings the bell, the dog salivates, even if there's no food, because it gets conditioned. So the body's conditioned to respond, and when you ring the bell of sugar on the tongue at that level, it sends a message to the brain, and it starts producing secondary metabolic effects like increasing insulin, for example. We call it the cephalic phase insulin response. And that drives you to be hungrier, to eat more. So that's why when you look at all the studies, people who drink artificial sweeteners are more likely to be overweight, more likely to have diabetes. It seems to be counterintuitive, but it actually is what the data show. Flour. Any kind of flour. Think of it as a drug. It's like sugar. It's tequila, it's wine, it's a drug. And you can have it, but you want to make sure, one, you don't overdo it. And the Americans are eating about 133 pounds of flour every year. It's a lot of flour. It's almost a little bit, maybe a third of a pound a day per person. When we have muffins, bagels, bread, pastas, right? I mean, it's just we have so much flour. And that drives your body to think that there's high levels of sugar, because this flour is actually worse than sugar for your blood sugar. So it spikes your blood sugar more than table sugar. So you really want to eliminate that. The next thing you want to limit is really sugar. We eat about 152 pounds of sugar per person per year, and a lot of it's high fructose corn syrup, as I mentioned. We don't want to be drinking liquid sugar calories. Again, think of sugar as a recreational drug. Do I eat sugar? Of course I do. But I do it in limited amounts. I do it in the context of usually a meal. I don't have it on an empty stomach. It prevents the spikes in blood sugar. You also want to avoid refined oils, all the highly processed refined oils. Yes, we can use oils like avocado oil, olive oil. Oils are fine. Fat is good. But all these highly refined oils that are from, quote, vegetable oils, they're made through solvents and hexane and high temperatures, and they oxidize easily. They're very unstable, and they can be linked to increased inflammation and gut issues and so forth. So I try to really get rid of those. And those are all in the processed food. When you go out to eat, they usually use these crappy oils. So you really want to be careful.